Welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost. Let's take a look at top 50 headlines from across the world. Russian President Vladimir Putin has issued a direct warning to the United States and its allies. Putin has threatened to arm North Korea if the West continues to send weapons to Ukraine. Putin made these remarks after South Korea announced it would consider supplying arms to Kyiv. Russian president said it would be quote-unquote a big mistake. South Korean military fired warning shots after it reported a fresh border violation by North Korean troops. Seoul said the North Korean forces withdrew after shots were fired. This is the third such border incursion this month. Pyongyang has been shoring up the border lately, which South Korea says has led to casualties. Israeli army has released a new video of purported strikes on Hezbollah group in South Lebanon. Visuals show targets exploding what Israel claims to be Hezbollah military units and weapons storage depot. Earlier this week, the Hezbollah chief said that Israel won't be safe if a full-blown war breaks out between the two sides. The US military says it has destroyed 6 Houthi drones in the Red Sea, including 4 nautical and 2 aerial drones. The Iran-backed proxy group has been launching a scale of drones and missiles at the vessels in the Red Sea since November. And tensions between the United States and its close ally Israel deepen further. The White House has reportedly upset with Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his criticism of US arms transfer. US described Netanyahu's remarks as vexing and disappointing. The spat erupted earlier this week after Netanyahu slammed the Biden administration of withholding ammunition. Former US President Donald Trump has promised green cards to foreign graduates of US colleges if he is re-elected. The Republican contender made the claim during a podcast interview. A green card allows individuals the right to live in the United States. Trump, who's known for his hardline stance on immigration, says graduates can stay in the country. And Japan has slapped new trade sanctions on Chinese firms. These curbs are over their alleged support to Russia in its war in Ukraine. The sanctions were announced by Japan's foreign ministry. The move marks the first time Tokyo has targeted Chinese-based companies over their alleged links to the Ukraine war. Outgoing Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte will become NATO's new Secretary General. This after his only rival, Jens Stoltenberg, withdrew his bid. Stoltenberg, who is NATO's current chief, will conclude his term in October. Marking the 10th International Day of Yoga, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi led a yoga session in Jammu and Kashmir. Thousands of yoga practitioners joined the Indian leader for the session near the popular Dal Lake in Srinagar. Prime Minister Modi said the world's perception of yoga has changed in the last 10 years. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has begun her 2-day visit to India. She will meet India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday. The two leaders are expected to hold talks on bilateral issues and are also likely to sign agreements ranging across several sectors. Prime Minister Hasina is also scheduled to meet India's President and the Vice President. The Delhi High Court has halted the bail order of Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. The Delhi Chief Minister was granted a bail in the liquor policy case by a trial court on Thursday. However, the Enforcement Directorate moved the High Court challenging the bail order. Kejriwal was arrested in March in a liquor policy case. On to some climate news now. The United States will face hotter than normal temperature from the month of July to September, a government agency has predicted. The country is currently reeling under the first heat wave of the year. Americans have already been warned about the sizzling temperature and heat wave. Mexico says at least 155 people were reported dead due to high temperature in the month of March. The government says 30 people died in the past 1 week and over 2,500 cases of heat-related illnesses were reported this summer. The heat wave, which began in March, is expected to continue till October. The death toll due to extreme heat in Mecca has risen further. Reports say over 1,000 Hajj pilgrims have died due to a brutal heat wave, adding that over half of the deaths were of unregistered worshippers. Thousands are also being treated for heat stroke and other heat-related illnesses as temperatures in Mecca soar above 50 degrees Celsius. And India's Met Department has predicted that monsoon is set to hit capital Delhi and NCR by June 30th. For the state of Madhya Pradesh, the Weather Office has predicted good rain for the coming days. Also, there is a possibility of strong winds in some parts of the central state. Wildfires in southeastern Turkey have claimed lives of 5 people and left over 44 injured. The wildfires swept through 5 villages in the region overnight. Authorities said the deadly fires that spread quickly due to strong winds were brought under control. Nine people have died and 6 are still missing due to heavy rains in southern China. Torrential rain triggered floods and landslides in China's Guangdong province. Rescue and disaster relief efforts are underway in the province, where thousands have been affected. Torrential rain in the south have come while northern China is reeling under soaring temperature higher than 35 degrees Celsius. 21 people have died and at least 6,000 injured due to torrential rains and severe floods in Niger. According to the government, 8 people drowned and 13 others died due to houses that collapsed. Another 26 people were injured and around 4,000 cattle were either killed or lost. In Mexico, Tropical Storm Alberto, the season's first named storm, weakened as it moved inland over the northeast of the country. After bringing heavy rain that left at least 4 people dead, the rainwater also washed out a segment of a major highway in the Nuevo Leon state in Mexico. Floodwaters inundated several small towns in north of U.S. state of Minnesota. Northern Minnesota witnessed heavy rain this week. The National Weather Service has warned that more rainfall is expected in next 3 days. Several roads have been washed out, cutting off access to multiple routes and causing huge damage. On to business and tech news now. The European Union has agreed on a new set of sanctions against Russia over its war in Ukraine. The sanctions will restrict Russian natural gas shipments that pass through EU ports to other countries. However, the sanctions fall short of banning EU nations from importing Russian LNG. Many European Union nations stopped importing Russian gas after Moscow's forces invaded Ukraine in 2022. But the European Union has not imposed a formal ban on Russian gas. And staying on with the European Union, sales of EVs in the bloc dropped by 12% for the month of May compared to the same period last year. This is according to the data from European Automobile Manufacturers Association. This drop is led by Germany, where EV sales have plunged 30% in May. This comes after Germany ended subsidies for buying new EVs last year. Japanese car maker Toyota Motors has suspended production and delivery of 2 of its cars, the Grand Highlander and Lexus TX SUV. Earlier this year, Toyota recalled over 145,000 cars of the same model in the United States. The firm has said that these cars have faulty airbag system that prevents airbags from deploying during a crash. The automaker says it has halted production and deliveries of these cars until a remedy can be found. American plane maker Boeing is reportedly close to a deal to buy aircraft parts supplier Spirit AeroSystems. The acquisition talks started earlier this year. However, they were stalled due to Spirit's ties with Boeing's rival Airbus. Spirit AeroSystems also supplies airplane parts to Airbus. As per reports, Boeing and Airbus plan to divide the units of Spirit AeroSystems that work for them. And American Airlines has failed to reach a new wage deal with its flight attendants. A union representing flight attendants has said that it is moving closer to a strike. The union represents about 28,000 flight attendants of the airline. Earlier this month, the union rejected the airline's offer of a 17% pay hike for workers. A group of French hotels have filed a lawsuit against the American home rental platform Airbnb. The hotels accuse Airbnb of using unfair trade practices. The lawsuit claims Airbnb does not collect or pay tourist taxes in the country. Additionally, it also alleges that the American platform does not comply with rules for renting out homes. French hotels are demanding nearly $10 million in damages from Airbnb. The US government has announced a nationwide ban on the sale of antivirus software made by Russia's Kaspersky Lab. Kaspersky provides antivirus, internet security and other cybersecurity products globally. The US Commerce Secretary said that the company poses a significant security risk to the United States, adding that they were compelled to take action due to Russia's capacity to collect and weaponize personal information. Meanwhile, the US Justice Department is reportedly planning to file a lawsuit against Chinese social media platform TikTok. This is over allegations of children's privacy violations. Earlier, a US regulator had referred a complaint of potential children's privacy violations against TikTok. American chipmaker Nvidia has lost its title of the world's most valuable company to Microsoft. This comes just days after the chipmaker had reached the top spot. Nvidia's share prices dropped by nearly 3.5% on Thursday. This led to its market valuation declining to $3.22 trillion, slightly below Microsoft's market value of $3.3 trillion. American cloud computing firm Oracle has announced a $1 billion investment plan in Spain. The investment will be used to set up new cloud computing infrastructure in the country. Oracle has partnered with Telefónica España for the investment. Moving to sports now, and we start with cricket. Australia defeated Bangladesh by 28 runs in a rain-hit T20 World Cup Super 8 match. Australia won the toss and put Bangladesh to bat first. Bangladesh managed to score 140 for 8 in 20 overs. Rain stopped the play during Australia's run chase. They were declared the winners via the Duckworth-Lewis method. And India defeated Afghanistan by 47 runs in the Super 8s of the T20 World Cup. India won the toss and posted 181 for 8 in the first innings. The Afghans were bowled out for just 134 in reply. Fast bowler Jasprit Bumrah picked 3 wickets while giving away just 7 runs. In football, Argentina kicked off their Copa America title defense yesterday. They beat Canada 2-0. Julian Alvarez gave Argentina the lead in the 49th minute, and Lautaro Martinez settled the game with his 88th goal. Lionel Messi has become the most capped player in the history of Copa America. Messi reached 35 appearances yesterday when his team was taking on Canada. He made his Copa America tournament debut back in the year 2007. France's football coach said he was hopeful that Kylian Mbappe could feature in the Euro 2024 game against the Netherlands. Mbappe broke his nose during France's opener against Austria. Mbappe, however, returned to training and took part in minor exercises. Men's world number 1 Yannick Sinner has reached the quarter-finals of the Hull Open. He had to dig deep to beat Hungary's Fabian Marozsan 6-4, 6-7, 6-3 in the round of 16. Sinner's next opponent is Jan-Lennard Struff of Germany. World number 2 and French Open champion Carlos Alcaraz has been knocked out of the Queen's Club Championships. Alcaraz lost in straight sets to 22-year-old Jack Draper. Draper beat Alcaraz 7-6, 6-3 in the round of 16 encounter. Women's world number 2 Coco Gauff will lead Team USA in the Paris Olympics. She will be joined by Jessica Pegula, Danielle Collins and Emma Navarro in the women's singles category. The Olympic tennis event starts on July 27th at Roland Garros, where the French Open is held. Novak Djokovic returned to training after undergoing knee surgery. During the French Open quarters, Djokovic tore the medial meniscus in his right knee. In less than 15 days of his surgery, Djokovic was seen practicing on hard court. In Formula One, Ferrari racer Carlos Sainz says he has not yet decided which team he will race for in the next season. The Spaniard lost his position to Lewis Hamilton. He is reportedly in talks with F1 teams Sauber and Williams. Sainz says he will take his decision very soon. In entertainment news, rapper Travis Scott was arrested in Florida. Reports say he was charged with public misconduct and trespassing. Police responded to a call which said that a fight broke out on a yacht at the Miami beach. Police found Scott shouting obscenities at people on the yacht. Singer Miley Cyrus has signed a deal with Creative Artists Agency or the CAA for representation. She's parted ways with the agency WME after being with them for 4 years. CAA also represents artists like Justine Triet, Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan. The Mean Girls musical opened at the Savoy Theatre in London. The musical play is based on the 2004 film. The play has been written by comedian and actor Tina Fey, who also wrote the film. The story revolves around the school life of a girl who moves from Kenya to America. Singer-songwriter Sabrina Carpenter has unveiled the dates of her upcoming North America tour. She will start the tour on the 23rd of September in the US state of Ohio. Carpenter will then travel to New York and Los Angeles. Jonathan Majors has landed his first movie after domestic assault conviction. He's been roped in for an upcoming revenge thriller film titled Merciless. The film follows the life of an investigator. Majors was convicted in the year 2023. Grey's Anatomy star Patrick Dempsey has joined the Dexter prequel series Original Sin. He has joined the show as a series regular. The story is set in the year 1991, which follows the life of Dexter, who becomes a serial killer under the guidance of his father. American actor Hamish Linklater has been roped in to voice Batman in the upcoming animated series Batman Caped Crusader. Other actors who will voice over roles are McKenna Grace. The finale episodes of Yellowstone now have an official premiere date. The episodes will begin streaming on the 10th of November. The cast and crew members are currently filming the part 2 of season 5 in Montana. Jennifer Hudson in a talk show revealed that her father has 27 children. She further added that she wants to meet them all someday. Hudson found out that she was the youngest one of them all when she was 16 years old. Actor Donald Sutherland has passed away at the age of 88. He died in Miami after a long illness. Sutherland was known for his roles in MASH, Clute and Hunger Games. He is survived by his wife and 5 children.
Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Vietnam earlier today for a 2-day state visit. He was welcomed by the Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister at the airport in Hanoi. Putin is set to hold talks with the country's communist leaders and deepen ties. Vietnam is the last leg of his two-nation Asia tour.